"Here is where I saw my first moose, so many years ago that it is time for me to forget." She laughed softly. "I think I had just passed my fourth birthday." "You were 4 on the day we started, Ma Josephine," came Jean's voice as his canoe shot slowly ahead where the stream narrowed. And then his voice came back more faintly. "That was 16 years ago to day." A shot, breaking the dead stillness of the sunless world about him, could not have sent the blood rushing through Philip's veins more swiftly than Jean's last words. For a moment he stopped his paddle and leaned forward so that he could look close into Josephine's face. "This is your birthday?" "Yes. You ate my birthday cake." She heard the strange, happy catch in his breath as he straightened back and resumed his work. Mile after mile they wound their way through the mysterious, subterranean like stream, seldom speaking, and listening intently for the breaks in the deathlike stillness that spoke of life. Now and then they caught the ghostly flutter of owls in the gloom, like floating spirits. Back in the forest saplings snapped and brush crashed underfoot as caribou or moose caught the man scent. They heard once the panting, sniffing inquiry of a bear close at hand, and Philip reached forward for his rifle. For an instant Josephine's hand fluttered to his own and held it back, and the dark glow of her eyes said, "Don't kill." Here there were no big eyed moose birds, none of the mellow throat sounds of the brush sparrow, no harsh janglings of the gaudily coloured jays. In the timber fell the soft footpads of creatures with claw and fang, marauders and outlaws of darkness. Light, sunshine, everything that loved openness of day were beyond. For more than an hour they had driven their canoes steadily on, when, as suddenly as they had entered it, they slipped out from the cavernous gloom into the sunlight again. Josephine drew a deep breath as the sunlight flooded her face and hair. "I have my own name for that place," she said. "I call it the Valley of Silent Things. It is a great swamp, and they say that the moss grows in it so deep that caribou and deer walk over it without breaking through." The stream was swelling out into a narrow, finger like lake that stretched for a mile or more ahead of them, and she turned to nod her head at the spruce and cedar shores with their colourings of red and gold, where birch and poplar and ash splashed vividly against the darker background. "From now on it is all like that," she said. "Lake after lake, most of them as narrow as this, clear to the doors of Adare House. It is a wonderful lake country, and one may easily lose oneself. Hundreds of lakes, I guess, running through the forests like Venetian canals." "I would not be surprised if you told me you had been in Venice," he replied. "To day's your birthday, your 20th. Have you lived all those years here?" Chapter 6, part 1.